Hey everyone, today I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite video games of all time. It's called Mume. Weird name, but it stands for Multi-Users in Middle-earth. And you might have guessed it from the title. It takes place in Tolkien's world, the setting of Lord of the Rings, and all of his histories, including the Silmarillion and other books. This is basically an MMO game that's been running since 1991. I first played it when I was in 7th grade, and I've just recently gotten back into it because it's so amazing. Now, although it's an MMO, it is entirely text-based. So what I'm showing on the left side of the screen right here is the entire game. And you'll notice you read the description of where you are, and you interact entirely with the game through text commands. So if you've watched Lord of the Rings, do you remember the town of Bree where Gandalf told Sam and Frodo to meet him? And there's the innkeeper Barlaam Butterbur? Well, that's where I am right now, and I can read the description of my location. The inn's rooms. You've entered a medium-sized room with solid wooden floors, blah, blah, blah. And look at this, Barlaam Butterbur, the innkeeper, offers you a room in his inn. As things happen in the game, new text gets added to the bottom here, and as you can see, you begin to feel hungry. So what I'm going to do is type inventory to get an assessment of what I currently have in my inventory. And you can see I am carrying a lembas wafer and a gilded round shield. So I'm going to say, eat lembas. You eat the lembas. You are full. In this game, you navigate by using the directions north, south, east, west, up, and down. So you can see here the exits of this room. There's only one exit, down. So if I type down, I'll go into the next room. Now I'm in the main room of the Prancing Pony Inn. And I can read the cool description of the room. I also see some things going on. An elite Bree guard has arrived from the north. And there's a storyteller who's in the middle of telling some story. This is an NPC who just adds some little flavor. Now I can go south or west or back up to the inn's rooms. So maybe I'll go west. I'm in the common room. There's a bulletin board, a fireplace, and a stocky mountain mule waiting to serve. So for the navigation in this game, you have to imagine it's laid out like a grid with north, south, east, and west. And there's a few places you can go up and down. So here's a map that someone's actually created of this area in Mume. Here's the town of Bree. Here's the I for inn. And I went down to the main room of the inn and west to the common room. So if I go east and south, I'll get to the water. If I go south and west again, I'll get to a shop. So let's try it. East, south, south, west. I'm at the bazaar. A large grocer is here willing to buy or sell some goods. I can type list to see what he has for sale. And I'm not going to go into this right now. There is a huge ton of shit he has for sale. Let's go back to the common room. So this is how you navigate around, north, south, east, west. And you picture yourself moving around this grid map. And this game is massive. Here's Bree. Here's a road that leads up to Fornost, which is an ancient ruined town of the Dunedain, the men in the north. And if you go far enough east, eventually you'll get to Rivendell, the Misty Mountains. But there are over 20,000 individual rooms in this game. All right, so let's just briefly give you a taste of some of the other things in this game. I'm going to type EQ for equipment. And here you can see everything I'm currently wearing. You are wielded a nimble blade, so that's my piercing dagger. What I'm wearing on my head, my body, sleeves, gloves. Don't ask me why I'm wearing a flowing skirt. I've got a sapphire ring on. It's actually an enchanted ring. I have an enhanced herbal kit so I can make potions and poisons. And in fact, I have a fetid green vial of venom, which is a poison I can apply to my blade. Let's try it. PB, poison blade. You carefully pour some oil on your blade. Now if I look at my equipment, my nimble blade has some sort of liquid smeared on it. So I've created this poison by gathering herbs from around the map, applied it to my blade, so the next person I stab is going to get poisoned. So if you remember, I had a gilded round shield in my inventory. So in order to use that shield, I have to type hold shield. You fasten a gilded round shield on your arm, becoming very impressive. So now when I type equipment, I can see worn as shield, a gilded round shield. Some more simple commands. If I want to look what I have in my pouch on my belt, I can type look pouch. Oops. Look. I'm looking at the pouch. Made of simple leather, this pouch is supported by bluish-green metal bands. If I want to look in and into it, I have to type examine pouch. And here you can see everything that is in your pouch worn on belt. And mostly I use this for ingredients for my potions and poisons. A small fluid sac, which I got from butchering the corpse of a rattlesnake, and I used to make my venom. So as I said, this is a multiplayer game. So I can see who else is playing right now. Right now we've got 12 allies, that's men and elves and dwarves, and there are also some unknown number of orcs and trolls playing as well. I can also look and see if any of them are nearby by typing where. Okay, so I'm Izmir. It looks like Kronos is in the weapon shop. Let's go see if we can find him. South. So I have this map built into my head. So go south once more, east, south, south, east, east. All right, so now I'm in the weapon shop, and I can see Kronos the dwarf wielding a mighty dwarven axe is standing here. So I'm going to type bow Kronos. And let's see if he's around. Kronos nods in agreement with you. All right, some respect, good. So now I'm out in a grassy field. You're walking on a short carpet of green grass, blah, blah, blah. A rabbit is here. A brown fox is here. I'm going to type kill fox. You pierce a brown fox's right hind leg very hard and shatter it. A brown fox is shaken with spasms as the venom enters his body. Is my venom going to work? Then the brown fox tries to hit me, but my parry was successful. Then I pierced him again. The brown fox is mortally wounded and will die soon if not aided. And finally, I finished him off. You hear a brown fox death cry as he collapses. I gained 194 experience points and 4 travel points. So that fox died really quickly, but that's basically how combat works. You'll go back and forth hitting each other with your weapons. There's also magic. You can be a caster and cast spells on each other. So that brings me to the point of class selection. One of my favorite aspects of this game is when you create your character, you don't have to decide, I'm going to be a warrior or I'm going to be a mage. Basically, every time you level up, you get a certain number of practice sessions that you can spend in guilds located all around Middle-earth to train in certain types of skills. So if I type practice, you can see the current skills I've learned. I have 0 practice sessions left. I've got awareness, bandage, climb, ride, swim, and track, and wilderness. These all belong to no class. They're general skills. But I also have attack, backstab, dodge, envenom, escape, hide, pick, that's picking locks, piercing weapons, search, and sneak. So these are all thief skills. But I've also practiced endurance, which is a warrior skill. So you can make all sorts of cross-class characters. Now there's some penalties to mixing and matching. Focusing majority of your practice sessions in one class is usually the best. But if I wanted to, next level, when I get 10 more practice sessions, I could go to a mage guild and learn Call Lightning or Fireball. Of course, my effectiveness with any of these skills also depends on my statistics. This is all the info I have about my character, and you can see your base abilities are Strength 16, Intelligence 10, Wisdom, Dexterity, Constitution, Willpower, and Perception. So very standard to typical Dungeons & Dragons style role-playing games. Everything I try to do in the game will depend on those base abilities. There's also a global chat channel. I'm going to type Listen Tales. And everybody who's playing, oh, look at this guy. Tindom narrated Zork Torque near Ford. That's going to be very confusing, but what he's basically saying is that there's a Zalgraz orc and a Tarknab orc near the last ford. The ford is the crossing over the Broinen River. You remember when Frodo was stabbed and he was carried across a horse across the river, and Arwen, or Elrond, raised the river so the Nazgul couldn't chase him? So apparently there are 2 orcs near that ford right now. And those orcs are played by real players. So you can get into combat. And that's the most exhilarating part of this game, is the adrenaline rush of fighting other players purely through your text. You got to be like, kill orc. And then you have to type, if you start getting killed, you have to type flee and hit enter. See, I just fleed, head over heels, north. So you have to learn all these things. It's got a steep learning curve, but there's great help files and really friendly people who will help you learn all the commands to play this game. So just as a quick teaser, I want to show you a few other things. There actually is a mapper that someone's built that sort of gives a graphical user interface to this game. I have it over here. It's called mmapper for Mume Mapper. And this yellow box is where I currently am. So if I type west, you see the whole map has shifted. Now I'm in this square. Every single square on this map represents a room with its own description, with characters moving in and out, with potential items on the ground. Let's go and look at what this little flower symbol means. I'm going to go south, south. The mushrooms place. This is a strange place, blah, blah, blah. And there's a whole bunch of mushrooms here. So if I wanted to, I could type get mushroom. You pick a bright red mushroom. And now it's in my inventory. So I'm going to briefly zoom out and just show you the scale of this map. You can go Fangorn Forest, Lothlorien, Rivendell, the Misty Mountains. And there's a rumor that if you get high enough level, Over in the Grey Havens, you can actually sail on the White Ship west to Valinor, where you can create special enchanted items. There's all sorts of powerful creatures in dungeons around the map, magical rings and enchanted swords, and thousands of different types of armor, equipment, and items you can use on your journeys in Middle-earth. Hopefully this brief introduction has whet your appetite to try out Mume. You have to go into it knowing that there's a steep learning curve, but the community and the game are some of the most rich gaming experiences I've ever had. If you want a more step-by-step walkthrough on how to get started, you can watch my next video available in the description below. What's killing me now? Oh shit! Ugh, orc. A man. What? A grim man? Should we flee? Yeah. Fuck. No! No! What are you doing? I died.